We are here to make people feel good about themselves. We really have to feel like we are a day maker for the guest. You've made my day. How great is that when you hear those words from your guest?
Hi, welcome to DayMakers Podcast with Tricoci University. I'm here with David Dolce.
Hello.
And we have our two special guests. We have Sarah Ledford, who's from our normal campus. She's the campus director there. And we have Bryce Hanson, who's with the Bloomington
Career Academy.
Career Academy. They've changed names, so
Yeah.
I thought I had it. Bloomington Career. Go ahead.
Bloomington
You say it.
Career Academy.
Thank you.
Close. You got there.
I did. BCA. I know it was BCAA before it was BCAA.
No, it was
The ACC. That's it.
Yeah.
Now I'm all confused.
Yeah.
So, but tell us a little bit about both your roles. We'll start with you, Sarah, and your relationship and the partnership.
I am the campus director at Tricoci in Normal, Illinois, and I partner with Bryce to give education to current high school students in the Bloomington Career Academy for cosmetology and aesthetics.
Yeah, I'm Bryce Hanson. I'm the principal and director of the Bloomington Career Academy, and enjoyed the partnership and expanding partnership with Tricoci and Sarah and the whole crew.
So can you explain to our viewers, because I didn't even know, what is an articulation agreement?
Yeah, so it's essentially a contract that we have with Tricoci that allows us to have our students get educational services at Tricoci by their instructors. We have a kind of a compensation agreement with them, and so the great thing is that our students can earn hours towards their licensure while they're in high school through Tricoci, and those hours transition over seamlessly because all the instruction and curriculum is provided by Tricoci.
That's fantastic. So what inspired this?
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it was we wanted to kind of build our enrollment because I don't know if you know, but when Normal first opened, we were kind of had a lower population.
Yeah.
There were a couple other schools in town that kind of dominated the market. So we thought if we could get ourselves out there with like the high school students, that it would help kind of boost our enrollment. So that was the initial aspect of it. I think over time, it was just we really wanted to be like day one on the ground with students to see like, if you have the passion, we want to be the ones who are providing you with the education.
Now you're packed with students.
Yeah, now we're packed with students.
And it's mutually beneficial for us because our students can get that experience in high school, both the career exploration piece, do I like this, do I not like this?
Yeah.
But also they can build those hours. And so now they're graduating high school with a bunch of hours towards their licensure, saves their family money, saves them some time. And so they get a lot further along in their education.
Yeah, I would love something like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
I've always said I wish I had a Bloomington Career Academy when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I think I would have saved my parents a lot of tuition dollars
Absolutely.
as I went through school.
I wish my kids would have. I have two kids. My son is actually licensed, but my daughter's in school now. So it would have been great to be able to have that head start. And I have a lot of friends who initially did it to pay their way through a traditional university too. So they cut hair and do all that to actually pay for their university.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember with BACC, when we first started having that contact, now BAC, we had, or BCA.
BCA. I wasn't gonna call it out.
I need someone to write it on the little felt behind us. But, when we first started meeting, it was like 4 years ago. So I'm glad to see this partnership go and strengthen, and started it as SD, and now we're in cosmetology. So Sarah, how do you feel like we set the students up for success?
I feel like one, it's just getting them in the door, being able for them to experience it before they even graduate high school to know if it's for them. Like we were just talking about this out there where it's like they can start it here and accumulate those hours. Are less likely to drop from the program after enrollment because they're so invested already. So just giving them that experience to be like, yes, this is for me, or no, it's not for me, before they even have to enroll.
I love that. So do you have any examples of any students that went through your program and it really did spark something in them and really change their lives?
Yeah, I will say, like, even though we've been working on this for like 4 years, like we just finished our first class. So last year was our first class with aesthetics, and we just had 7 students enrolled this past August from that class. So we're kind of on the back end filling in like this worked, that didn't work, and but they're thriving and they're doing great and they're happy to be there. And they didn't have the anxiety that a lot of students have on day one walking through the door because they had been there all year last year.
Right.
So yeah, and they knew the teachers, they knew other students. Yeah, so it was great.
What a benefit. They're licensed at 18 years old, ready for the workforce. Do you know what I was doing when I was 18?
I know, not
ready
bad,
for the
right?
workforce.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic what you guys do, for real.
Plus, it saves them all that cost because a lot of our students aren't really they don't really want to go to a traditional four-year university. So, being able to get that head start starts them on that career path, and I think that's incredibly important. How do you think the parents feel about having that program?
I think they're extremely excited. I mean, for starters, my school pays, Tricoci for the hours. And so the students and families that get to utilize our program, they're doing so at very minimal cost to themselves. And so we can help get them a long way and pay for a lot of that education. And so it's very positive. And there's plenty of kids out there that try it for a year, and I don't know if that was for me, but to me, those are still success stories. Maybe you don't share that on social media quite as much, but those are still success stories because now we've gotten to learn that was for me or that wasn't. And so I think those two things, just that cost savings as well as that career exploration and affirming a calling in life, really gives us a lot of positive feedback from families.
I think that, the fact that they can try it before you buy it thing, and, I do like the cost savings of them being able to go through a vocational program. And I think that partnering, it's a little bit different because I know some vocational programs do it strictly on site. So being able to actually be in a school that's set up as a clinic and, being able to get that real world experience of servicing clients, I think is incredibly important too.
Absolutely.
I love that whole exposure piece because it is something I always thought that I wanted to do, but I was nervous about it. And I knew for a fact I did not want to go to a four-year university. I think it was mandatory to take your SATs or something when I was in high school. I didn't. I refused. I just didn't because I knew that's not what I wanted to do, but I had no clue. Like, that's a fantastic program. I love it. You guys are obviously the DayMakers Podcast, right? So one question I love to ask everybody is, what does being a daymaker mean to you? Sarah, I'm going to start with you.
I think for me, being a daymaker is that I get to be a part of people's experience in school. So even though I'm not there for their full lives, I am there for a part of their lives. And hopefully, I'm creating a positive experience for them to think on later on down the road. So making their day now hopefully builds a positive experience that they can remember later.
Yep, Miss Sarah. I remember Miss Sarah. You changed my life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's about. What about you, Bryce?
Yeah, that's a great question. One thing I talk a lot at my school is, I have 4 goals for every student that walks through our doors. And I think this partnership helps accomplish a lot of those goals. I always talk about, I want kids to have career exploration. That obviously happens with this partnership. I say that I want kids to determine their best post-secondary path. I mean, as you're referring to, there's a lot of kids that are like, I know I don't want to go to a 4-year university. I know I don't want to get this type of a degree. And so, I think this exposure helps them really determine what's my best path after I graduate from high school. For the third thing I want is for them to learn a marketable skill. I don't try to start programs at my school for jobs that are just low wage, low paying, low skill. I want a high wage, high paying, high skill job. Frankly, kids don't need my help to get a minimum wage job. They can do that on their own.
True.
And so I want to help them get that. And then the fourth thing I always talk about, I want to put something in their pocket. Dual credit, industry certification. Obviously, this helps them get very far down the road towards their licensure. And so for me, a daymaker in this context is helping kids do those 4 things. And I think this partnership has really helped us unlock that in the aesthetics and Cosmo area.
It's just really fantastic. You put a lot of thought into what you do. Thank you for being a partner with our schools. We really, really appreciate it, you guys. I know you drove out here. Appreciate that too as well.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for being with us today. We really appreciate it. And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yeah.